What's good, everybody? It's DSA not above the rim. Oh my gosh, DSA the Roundtable. See, Luke said I was in basketball mode. I'm in basketball mode too much. But what's good, everybody? We got a lot of people on the panel for you today. We got Luke G in the building. What's good, man?
Hey, I'm ready to get it rocking and rolling, man. Let's talk some football, bro.
Let's go, man. There's a lot of things to talk about. I think the closer it gets to the season, the more exciting things can get. I got my man Right or Wrong in the building. What up?
What's going on, JMO?
Right was like, I wasn't ready. No,
My mic was muted. My fault.
It's all good. It's all good. And I got my man Speak Easy in the building with us. What's good, man?
What up, though, man?
Listen,
All
I'm
right,
so ready for this right here because last time you and Easy had a very good debate. We gonna hopefully we gonna see if we can get through this one without it. But if we don't, I'm gonna enjoy every bit of it.
Hey, man. Last week's shows where a lot of these questions come from. I'm about to put some people's feet to the fire because, like, we gonna nip a lot of things in the bud and have some fun with it and talk some football about our team. But we're gonna start off with this one, and this is my question to the panel. Shout out to the people in the chat. Let me look. My question to the panel is: are the Lions a head coach away from being a good football team and from winning? And we're gonna start with you, Luke G.
All right, this is okay. Are they a head coach away? Yes, they are. I believe a good head coach can change a team and do it in a timely fashion. I think if you look at these teams, I know a lot of people are going to argue that you got to be able to do culture and all this other stuff. I get it. But the truth is if you have an opportunity for whatever the reason it is, if you have that opportunity to be able to have a coach who can come in and get you going, good. I go back to the times of Bill Parcells. Nobody has, at least that I can remember, nobody has turned around more teams than Bill Parcells. The Jets turned around because of Bill Parcells. The Dallas Cowboys turned around because of Bill Parcells. The Giants. And so one of the things I look at is it don't take this long. It just don't. And I think if they had a legitimate head coach that can make some hard decisions and still be tough, I think it makes sense. You got to know how to have a fine line between being a tough head coach and also being able to talk to a person like a human being. They're not asking for you to make they food for them or they plate at the dinner. They just saying treat me like a human being.
I understand. Let's see. We got Kyle Webb in the building, Chris Cashball in the building. What up, though? We got Detroit Drew in the building. What up, though? Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. So speak easy, man. Are the Lions a head coach away from winning?
I guess it depends if you're looking at head coach like a time stamp, like you saying like, are we get a new head coach for winning the next year? Like, it just depends, man. And when it comes to the culture thing, like, this is way I guess this is what I thought about it while I was listening to Luke talk. For instance, you have Pete Carroll in Seattle, right? He's a player's coach. He's kind of an easygoing guy. He's kind of fun. He's from USC. He's been around young guys. He knows how to relate to them a little bit more. He's more relaxed in his coaching style. Would you say he's a successful coach, right? Pete Carroll?
Facts. Yeah,
okay.
You have to say that.
Okay, so in comparison, another coach, the greatest coach, Bill Belichick, in my opinion, the greatest coach. That may be up for debate, but you also a great coach, obviously, six rings, right? But completely different styles. So the thing with the culture that I'm saying is like when you're turning around a culture and they're that drastic, like Caldwell's more laid back and calm in demeanor, and then you have someone who's, and I don't want to say this in a bad way, but a totalitarian, whatever how you want to say how he rules with iron fist, Patricia. It doesn't mesh well, and it takes time to smooth out. I get like we haven't seen what we wanted to see, and I want to see success too, but it's something that takes time. A head coach away, I guess it depends who the coach is. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're able to,
that matters, doesn't it? Because if the coach, it's not going to be Bill Belichick, but if the coach was Bill Belichick, then yeah, we're a coach away. But let's say if the coach is, who is the coach is Jeff Fisher, then we're not a coach away. I understand that, but You know, we ain't talking about the culture, man. We sticking on the topic.
Okay, so
about the culture.
Yeah,
no
I mean,
more.
I guess it depends.
Because like that, the culture is the whole.
Like,
that to me, that doesn't matter sometimes. The win column matters sometimes. So that you can have a bad culture and still win games, and vice versa. So
I don't necessarily believe in that, but I mean, can you name a situation where you know what I'm saying? Because football is the ultimate team sport, man. Everyone's got
I
a
would
vibe.
say that the 49ers had a good culture when they were losing. The first year Jimmy G got there, and they were losing, and they was able to turn around because of that.
Wait, what? What? Yes, they had a good culture, so it mattered. Yeah, that's easy to prove my point.
No, I said wins and losses. The first year they had a good culture, but they won like 3 games.
Yeah, because it takes time to establish the culture. It takes time to establish the system.
Right, but like you say, like it doesn't happen. I just gave you an example.
What do you mean? I said it didn't matter. You said it didn't matter. You said all matters the W's or whatever.
Right.
No, I said it doesn't always matter as much.
I believe it does. I mean, I believe
it has to. Like, listen, hold on, wait, J-Mo.
Football's the ultimate team sport. It has to matter.
It's like we can't sit there. One of the reasons we sit there and we defend Matthew Stafford is because we always want to make sure that people understand that he hasn't had the right people around him to win and be successful. But if the culture, like, it's a rarity to have a culture be good and a bad coach, and they win. That's not what happens on a lot of these teams. You can have a good coach come in and establish his culture, and they win. Or you can have it depends on what the situation is.
It doesn't matter at all. But I'm not saying like it's not a definite.
We're not saying that you said it don't matter at all. We said it doesn't always. You said it doesn't always.
I know culture matters, but sometimes it's about
hold on, J-Mo. I'm gonna give you all the time in the world to talk and speak. I ain't gonna cut you.
I mean, I'm just trying to move on with the topics, man.
We gonna move on. We gonna move on. What you said
established culture. That's
right.
You go by the way they do the things. A coaching staff that's the culture pretty much. You know what I'm saying? They're on par with each other. They're not two different things. I mean, I guess you could say they are by like.
But can you have a good culture and still have a losing team? Yes or no?
Yeah, I mean it's a process.
All right, now we can move on. That's all I was saying. But all right, right or wrong, do you think the Lions are a head coach away from winning?
I mean, a good head coach, absolutely. I don't care what your opinion is on Jim Caldwell. I thought he was, good. I didn't think he was great. I know J-Mo really didn't like Jim Caldwell, but at the end of the day, he took the Detroit Lions to 3 winning seasons. He took them to the playoffs twice. And I don't think Jim Caldwell was a great coach, but, and that's what we brought Matt Patricia here to do, is be a great coach and take us to the next level. So, yeah, if we get a great coach, and we even get somebody better than Jim Caldwell, like, the Lions are going to be successful because they were successful with Jim Caldwell. So anybody better than that, they're just going to be more successful. So yeah, I think they're a great head coach away from being a great franchise.
Yeah, I like that. That was a bunch of facts right there. Okay, so now this question has a follow up. I don't think any of you guys said no.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious. If you got a good coach, you know what I'm saying, you're about to win. I do have one thing. So you said you could have a good culture in a losing season, but here's the devil's advocate to that. Can you have a bad culture in a Super Bowl? That you never heard of? That's not a thing. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead with your second follow-up. Right. My bad.
Well, bad cultures don't win games in the first place, so
that's not true.
Culture matter. Oh, hold up. Okay.
Well, it's a team with a bad culture that's out here winning games.
Yeah. What team with bad culture?
Well, us, like, we the only team. Well, we have a winning season, I guess. We are an anomaly out here.
If you go through and you look at the Oakland Raiders at one point had a bad culture, and they end up losing or trading their head coach, John Gruden, to the Bucs, and they culture was already. John Gruden was trying to repair that culture. And they got to the Super Bowl with that culture that was trying to get away from the losing ways and the trash. And the only reason they lost is because John Gruden had put all the information in there to create that. So when he got there, they knew everything. But I'm picking up what you putting down, Easy. I'm just gonna be honest. Damon, I'm a little confused too, to be honest.
Yeah, I was pretty confused. But what's your follow-up question, J-Mo? My bad.
Well, there's no point if y'all all say yes. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, I got you.
Because I feel like some people think we not a head coach away and we just need better talent on the team. Some people feel that way. But all right, we're gonna move on to
but we do need better talent on the team though.
Yeah, but if we had a better head coach, would that matter?
Yes.
I feel like if a coach can overcome talent. Like if you look at the rosters that the Patriots have every year, they're not. Remember how last episode we were kind of talking about how every defense has like a shining piece. You were talking about J-Mo. The Patriots, other than Stephon Gilmore recent, never really had that, and they've all consistently been good. So like the coaching, I feel like can overcome the roster. You know what I'm saying?
And it can, and I've seen it vice versa. But I'm saying you still need talent. Even if we look at the New England Patriots, they still win with talent that we know. And it's not that that's something that we just know randomly. We know because that's the talent that they win with. Like Dante Hightower is not no slouch. Stephon Gilmore ain't no slouch.
I tell you this. So we
you breaking up.
Yeah, you breaking up on
breaking up right now.
Oh shit! Wait, how about now?
Like we can hear you. I can hear you now.
All right. So example though, you see guys that leave that system, that leave that Bill Belichick system, and then they kind of fall off the map. For instance, Jamie Collins, who I feel like will work in our system, but he left to the Cleveland Browns for a minute before he went back to the Patriots, and he was atrocious. He was not good at all. But he went back to the Patriots, and then he had another stellar season. I mean, that's why we grabbed him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
but you got to understand, 90% of the league, and that part of the interest, but 90% of the league is system based. So you want to go into systems that utilize you, like you got so it's a system based type thing. I mean, so. And it's based on utilization. So that part of it is there. The question becomes, are they not talented? And in other words, meaning that are they performing in these games? When you go through any of these teams who are the standard, you always find that they have a significant amount of talent on their teams. You go to if you just go through the history, go back from let's get past the New England Patriots era. Go to the Dallas Cowboy era. They had a number of signature players, offense, defense, and special teams that you knew. These were household names. When you go to the 49er era, they had a number of players, offense, defense, and special teams that you knew. That was how, like those teams who do that, they have household names. And then they have in these other guys who are sprinkled in that do well. Even when the Tennessee Titans had that run, they had Eddie George, Steve McNair, the Freak, Jovan Curtis. You had all these different people that you knew going into it. So I'm just saying that, you got to have a good coach. But a good coach without talent is going to take...
Well, okay, regardless of that, I think that, some people think that our coach is good enough and we just need better talent on the teams, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And they don't think we're a head coach away. They think it's more of a talent base and execution. But we're gonna move on to the next question. All right, it's been a lot of talk with Kelly Stafford. Matthew Stafford doesn't say much, and I think this is something that we should talk about. And the question is, do you think Matthew Stafford is fed up with the Lions? And if we offer him an extension, do you think he'll take it or just say, no, I'm going to go out and test the waters and get a payday? We're going to start with you, right or wrong.
I mean, I think I don't think he's fed up with the Lions because, I mean, at this point, if he were truly fed up and didn't want to play here, he would opt out of the season, or he would have. Like, if he truly didn't want to be in Detroit, he would have opted out before the 4 p.m. deadline today. And the fact that he didn't, and the fact that he's still going to play in this, in this pandemic, shows me that he is at least committed enough to stick it out with Detroit for the remainder of his contract. Now, will he sign an extension? I don't know. I think Matthew Stafford loves this city. I know Kelly Stafford has said multiple times that he wants to win here. He wants to be in Detroit. So, I don't know how much the experience with the false negative or false positive has changed that view, but before the last couple of weeks, it seemed like the Stafford family loved the city of Detroit. They loved the people of Detroit, and they wanted to be here for a long time. So, well,
when those trade rumors came out, like this has been. I think this is just like a COVID test thing. That this has been. It's been a lot of things going on, but I understand what you're saying, and I do think that it's 27 million reasons to be fed up with a team and still go play for them. So,
but I think he would resign. He seems like he likes Detroit enough that he would resign. But
all right, speak easy. Do you think Stafford is fed up with the city, and if we offer him an extension, that he'll just say, "I'm gonna just test the waters, be a free agent, and I'm done with this team"? Okay, we're gonna throw that to you. Oh, you back?
Oh, my bad. I'm driving. My bad. So I don't know if it's going in and out. But one thing I think we forget when it comes to these decisions, when we talk about these guys, they also have families here too. That the kids are in schools, they're enrooted like here, in Michigan. So I feel like that would play a part. That said, Kelly Stafford does seem like she hates it here. She's always kind of.
Facts.
We talked a little bit. We touched on it. She's kind of a little bit of a Karen. If she's listening, I'm sorry, Kelly. You're still beautiful and stuff like that. But,
I don't condone that, Kelly. If you're listening.
Yeah, I just, man, the one thing I can see him walking away from, and I don't necessarily see if he does walk away, he goes to another team. I think he's may retire just because he's been paid so much. We saw Andrew Luck do it, and he has a family now. He keeps popping out these kids left and right. He's got enough money to support them for the rest of his life. Maybe he wants to stay healthy. I mean, he has enough. If he walks away, I doubt it's for another team. I bet it's more so just to be done with it.
I understand. I can definitely understand that point of view. I feel like I don't know if he's fed up, but I am kind of concerned that if we don't sign him up, like if we let him play out his last year, Kelly Stafford is going to be like, yeah, you're not signing back with this team unless we win or something. And I don't think he would retire. I think he probably goes somewhere else that wants him. Now he could retire a Lion and be cool, but why would he if he's still good? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and if he's still good and we let him play out his deal, because that could be very possible. I know teams will take flyers and they will give him a payday. And considering what the cap might be at that time, he might be getting even more than getting paid now. They might pay him $30 million 2 years, something like that, because that's where it's headed with these contracts and stuff. Even with the cap will go down for a year or two, but after that, it's going to be quarterback market is still going to be the same, regardless of what the cap is. Look at Mahomes' deal. So I just feel like it is possible, but I still think Stafford's loyal. He'll sign an extension, but if that last year comes up and we're not a good team, I think that Kelly is going to try to get him up out of here. I'm with you, Speak Easy. I think she don't want to be here. But Stafford might want to be here just from a competitive standpoint.
I do want to ask one thing, though. Do you think if we trash Patricia and start over with a new coach that he'll be willing to stay at that point? Or you think he'd be just kind of sick of it? Because he's been through this how many times now since he's been in Detroit?
Well, to me, the way I think about it is it's not about him willing to stay or not. It's kind of about will the new coach keep him or not? You know what I'm saying? Because to me, I don't know if the new coach will keep him. Might want his own guy. What? So, yeah.
Nah, hell no.
Because if he wants to stay and the new coach don't want to keep him, he's not staying.
If he was older. I only ask because it's like I bet he's probably sick of the coaches getting switched around too. So it's like,
you know what? I don't even know if he cares. And that's sad. I don't know if he cares. I think he only cares about the OC. I don't mean to say it like that, but I kind of feel that way. No, I think as long as Darrell Bevell's there, he'll be happy. But Luke, what do you think about this? Do you think Stafford is fed up with the Lions? Do you think he will sign an extension if we offer him one?
No, he's not signing an extension. Yes, he is fed up with the Lions, and yes, it does evolve around his family. I don't like any person who's married or have children, or hell, you just got a long-time girlfriend that you have children with, but you happy. When they not happy, you ain't happy. And when things are not moving in the way that it should be moving, you're not about to be acting like, oh, well, it's this. I've said this from the longest, that I believe that he's retiring when his contract is up. He's just gonna say forget it. Unless a team come out of the woodworks like, look, you the quarterback we need to get us to the Super Bowl. It gives them a chance, like New England. Outside of that, I think he's done with Detroit. And I think it's for reasons that you see in the chat. You see people like Shay. Shay make a very good point. I feel like when his contract is nearing to an end, these fans will start showing out and talking reckless about Stafford and replacing him. They doing it right now. They're going to do it even worse then. Then you got Jay Stone, who points out a very good point. I don't think it's the team. I think it's the fan base. The negativity that Stafford gets, she's a little fed up with that. But as far as the team, don't think she's fed. I just think at the end of the day, it boils down to what this fan base is doing. And I'm telling you, if I'm sitting up there right now and my lady right now tells me, hey, I don't like this neighborhood no more, we moving. It's that simple. Because if she's not happy, then that means that my castle's not happy. And to me, Stafford has given everything to this team, and all he gets is negative stuff, replace him. And I agree with Easy. Who in the hell finna go through another coaching change? Seriously. Especially if it's not a coach that you can get behind. Who's finna go through that? I think Stafford tired. And I think he's at a point where I think he's at a point where he's going to be able to call his shot and say, look, I'm done. I've had enough. And that'll be it.
Hey, man, it's very possible that he takes that route. I just don't know about retiring. I think he might because I don't know. It's kind of like I don't know about retiring. I'll just put it like that. I don't know about retiring. I think I don't think a team, if he's available, unless he's just like, I'm retiring, like Andrew Luck just did, I think a team is going to be like, you're that piece we need, because I'm pretty sure Stafford was on the market right now. You remember the Chicago Bears? They got a hit of a imaginary Stafford room where they calling like, yo, Stafford available? Like the Bears calling. Normally we never trade him there.
If the missus ain't happy, he can't be happy. I'm telling you right now, when you in that relationship and you got to come to your castle and your castle's in peace.
I feel like she want to live in California, so he gonna go play for one of them Cali teams.
Yeah, but that's even more reason to understand. Like, yeah, I understand he's a competitor, but tell me what competitor just gonna hang tight with a team to win the ring. Most people who are competitors are trying to find that ring. It's the reason why LeBron James left Cleveland, to send a message to them that y'all ain't gonna get what I want.
He don't got nothing to show for it, but Phillip Rivers staying and Matt Ryan ain't gonna go nowhere.
Phillip Rivers didn't stay.
He left. I'm saying he stayed for 17 years and left, but Matt Ryan's gonna be there.
They kept paying him. He didn't stay. He didn't stay because that his family wasn't happy there. He stayed because 1, he was being paid. 2, his family was happy there. 3, his castle was good. These are the things that stand out to a person. That's why Phillip Rivers stayed. When they forced him out by saying we gonna move on from you. Otherwise, he has still been there. He was driving almost 14 hours in a specially custom-made van that entertains his kids and his family when they commuted to the damn stadium for practices. That's a guy that's happy. Man, Stafford, I think he's had enough.
It's possible. Okay, so make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. John Jones says that sucker stuff. He is the money maker. She'll be all right. And that's how I feel to an extent. I think she can get him to leave, but I don't think she can get him to quit. I think that's gonna be up to Stafford at the end of the day, because I think she kind of wants him to win as well. So it is what it is. But we're going to move on to the next question. It looks like Easy is having some technical difficulties. Hopefully we can get him back. Now, all right. So this is the question. Is it better for the Lions to sign Kenny Golladay right now long-term, or let him ball out, have a breakout year even more, and then trade him and sell him to the highest bidder? Now, y'all already know how I feel. So, but we're going to start with you, right or wrong.
Well, I think the answer varies depending on what happens with the last question, right? If Stafford stays or goes, I think that changes it. Because if Stafford's still here,
let's just assume Stafford is staying. That's not an issue.
All right. So if Stafford's staying, like, I think Stafford is a good enough quarterback to survive the loss of Kenny Galladay. We saw it with Megatron, right? Megatron's one of the greatest wide receivers in NFL history. He left and Stafford got better. Like, Stafford is a good enough quarterback to withstand that blow. And, I think if the Detroit Lions are questioning and if they don't think that, he's worth the money he's asking for, then I think that they could let him go. But, I mean, I think we should sign him. I'll get that out of the way. I think it's better for us to sign him because you always want to give your quarterback weapons, right? But I feel like Stafford could survive that. Now, if Stafford's gone, I think you have to pay Kenny because, one, all that money's freed up from Stafford. And two, if you're bringing in a young rookie quarterback, they need that reliable target that they can throw to under pressure. Like, I feel like a young quarterback needs that security blanket. Kenny Galladay is definitely that. So I think we definitely need to lock him up long term if Stafford's questioning anything.
I mean, I understand what you said, and of course, I want to sign Kenny Galladay, but a lot of people are about value because what if I'll tell you, I think he gets 13 or 14, maybe even 15 touchdowns and close to like 1,200 yards if Stafford is there. So if he does do that, and he's a clear top 10 receiver, that means his value could be. I mean, you see him with Stephon Diggs got traded for, and I know he's on a different type of deal, and Kenny Galladay has a deal up, but I'm assuming the team that's getting him are going to pay him just like with Amari Cooper. You seen what Amari Cooper went for. Maybe they want to be like, well, he's a third-round pick. Why don't I trade that, get another first, and then I'll just draft another wide receiver? Now, I hate it. It makes me throw up. You got to set a precedent. You got to, you got to show your players that if you produce for me, after I draft you, we're going to reward you, and you got to send a good message out to the league and out to everyone in that locker room. So I don't like it, but I can understand how some people might want to just use that value to flip it, even if I don't agree with that. But Luke, do you think it's better for the Lions to sign Kenny G long term or don't sign him? And if he has a great breakout year, sell him to the highest bidder?
I mean, listen. We've been over this, and the reality is that the longer you wait, it's going to be a problem. They should have handled that before we even got here. So at this point now, you just got to wait till the season over with because the cap and the different issues that they having, we don't know what's going to happen. They're still talking about cutting people's pay by 40%. Who's playing? That's a problem. Okay, and then on top of that, we don't know how the cap is going to play out next year. So it's better to be safe than sorry. When I look at most of the situations when it comes to him, they always do this. The Lions have a history, and I'm gonna read this comment from the chat because this makes sense to me. This comes from Hater House. He says we need to set an example for our future franchise players. Like he flat out telling you, we have to set that example, and he's right. And the history of the Lions has been we too little too late to sign people. And Ndamukong Suh should have been signed. He should have dude, the Kansas City Chiefs re-signed Patrick Mahomes and that man had 2 years left. They're not even playing with dog. When you get a certain level of talent, you don't play with them. You don't play with them. You get them signed. But now we're at the point now where we're going to be pushing it against the wall and saying to ourselves, okay, what do? Everybody know that they should sign Kenny Galladay. But do I have a certain number in my head that I wouldn't sign Kenny Galladay? Yeah, I have certain numbers in my head where it's like, that's too much. But it's getting ready to go up because if he do ball out this season, guess what? The price is definitely finna go up. And now you don't create a situation where you're going to end up being back to where you was with Calvin Johnson, where you're paying a receiver a nice chunk of change to do what? It ain't like as for all the great things about Kenny Galladay, and I love from Kenny Galladay, he ain't out there just creating all this ton of separation. There are a few plays where you can see where the coverage was blown and he got out there by himself, but he ain't out there cooking no goddamn body. Them are contested catches. And all I'm pointing out is if we're not going to set the example for our future players, we're going to have the same problem that we always have. Players play out their contract, they bounce. See, that right there falls on the Lions. That falls on the general manager and the Lions organization. They need to set the example and do something that's going to be different.
Well, I think the problem is Bob Quinn is a GM. And that's why I think this is a topic that needs to be talked about because I'll say it again. Bob Quinn is the GM. The Patriots' way is to not pay wide receivers. And they pay DBs. And we've already seen that. So, I mean, he even extended Slay and Quandre Diggs and paid Justin Coleman. And that's where it leads me to believe, do they have a different plan? Now, I don't like the plan in the slightest. I hate the plan, if we're being honest. But it's just like you said, he should have been signed already. Why didn't you sign him? It makes no sense. He outplayed his contract. And his value is at a level to where he doesn't have to be the highest paid receiver in the league. Even if he asks for that, you could try to find a reasonable deal. You not signing him, I cannot see him not playing better and having a better season if Stafford is there for the full year. There's just no way he's gonna have another great year, regardless of what the specific numbers are. And if that's what they want to do, I don't like it in the slightest. And I just hope that they pay Kenny Galladay because Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, that the Patriots' way is to not pay these skill position players. Speak easy, you back, man?
Yeah, man. I was listening to practice. Look, man, I got one thing to say for real. I heard Luke talking about the Ndamukong Suh. Can you name a Super Bowl team that had a Ndamukong Suh on the roster? Sometimes it's not worth to pay people that much.
What, the Rams?
Wait. You said, can I do what now? I didn't hear you. Sound a little low. Can I do what with Super Bowl team?
I said, can you name a Super Bowl roster that had a Ndamukong Suh?
Yeah, like you do sound a little bit lower.
Can you hear me now?
A Super Bowl roster that had a Ndamukong Suh. Are you talking about a player like him or him, the actual player?
The actual player.
The Rams did.
They won the Super Bowl though.
It doesn't matter. You
said
because of him. The Super Bowl roster. You didn't say they won. You said a Super Bowl roster. So,
all right, my bad. I meant a Super Bowl winner, but because this is my point, and this is why the Patriots are so successful. They don't pay guys. They don't go all in on guys unless the only two positions I feel like that are worth overpaying for is quarterback and cornerback, and that's because especially if a lockdown cornerback, they're replaceable and they're hard to come by. Other guys, if your system's right, if your coach is right, then everybody should be. You should have somebody lined up to replace them in that role. The same way when Wes Welker left, bam, plugged in Julian Edelman, stuff like that. It's I don't think you should be overpaying guys. I would love to like PG if the money's right, but if overpaying them or just putting a big dent in our cap space, I ain't with it. I'm cool with.
I feel like it's more than one way to skin the cat, though. Like, yes, the Patriots, they're the best dynasty. But, there's been other dynasties, and there's been other teams that have won recently. The Eagles and the Chiefs. They both have different philosophies. The Chiefs are paying everybody. So, I understand what you're saying, though. But I mean, it's not like the Patriots wouldn't take Ndamukong Suh. Like,
no, for sure. But they ain't paying the money he wants.
Hold on. Listen, this is the thing. People don't understand something. And Ndamukong Suh contract ended, and you got zilted for him. Nothing.
That was whack.
Not one single thing. So let's go through and look at what Ndamukong Suh does. Ndamukong Suh goes over to the what are they? The LA Rams now? I want to call them St. Louis, but they LA Rams, right?
Yeah.
All right. So they're the LA Rams now. He goes over there, and what happens? Aaron Donald gets his best sack season of his freaking career. Like, that's what happened. You go through and you look at the people who was on the Detroit Lions winning Ndamukong Suh. The year, and then I read not a Lions fan's comments where he said you couldn't keep him. Yeah, because you were supposed to move on from the receivers. Receivers are easy to replace. It's going to be some receiver this year who's going to ball out and who's going to show up. It's just the reality. It ain't going to be Justin Jefferson because he opted out. But nonetheless, there's going to be some receiver who's going to emerge. And all I'm pointing out is this. This team has a propensity to just ignore the idea that sign them before they get a chance to think about leaving. They're not doing that.
I do feel like what Ryder was talking about, where you have to sign Kenny Galladay if Stafford is in here, and allude to that. I mean, it does matter the receiver's value to the team because for the most part, you can't replace a receiver, but another position that's devalued, the running back, you're paying Christian McCaffrey that money because of his value to this team. And I don't know if a receiver has that much value as him, but it's happened before. But other than that, you can't replace receivers. Like Ryder said, I love Kenny Galladay. I want him to be paid, but I'm telling you right now, we draft a receiver, Stafford to be fine. Like so, and we still have TJ Hawkinson as well.
Listen. Ryder always finds interesting things to say. Ryder's younger than both me and you, but Ryder, tell me if I'm right or wrong about this. In your time, who was the player that we drafted and re-signed not named Stafford after their rookie contract?
Well, Darius Slay. Maybe not.
Where he at right now?
Well, he's in Philadelphia.
Okay, keep going.
That's more because Patricia was I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah. Right. I'm with you, but keep going.
I don't know. Other than that,
when you think that you can name more people that we drafted, I mean, hell, I remember when was it 2000? I want to say we drafted Stalker McDougal. Y'all remember that? 20th overall, Stalker McDougal. Contract was up, he was gone. Boom, out of there. This is a problem that we got to take care of.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, and you can't just be like, we didn't have players good enough to re-sign. I mean, we had a lot of trash players, but come on.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying we didn't have.
I'm saying that you can't say that.
But because to me, you have to look at it and you have to say to yourself, okay, let's keep it 100. Like, let's keep it 100 for real. That when you look at this, the way it's set up now, we're not retaining our own people. We're not keeping our own players.
Yeah, and Taylor Decker. I mean, we let Glasgow go, which I still don't think that makes sense. And I wasn't the highest on him, but if you're going to replace him with what you replaced him with, why did you even get rid of him? And then you got Taylor Decker, probably going to be like, oh, you got Jared Davis, probably going to be like.
Now, I do blame Jim Caldwell for that, because here's what the rumor was, or not
blame
even
him for what?
Not even for letting Sue walk and not replacing him. This is what a former scout who was on his staff said, that he pounded the table screaming, we got to take Aaron Donald. Every expert in the mock draft had us taking Aaron Donald. They said Jim Caldwell's exact words were, I thought we were trying to get bigger, faster, and stronger. This guy's a little guy. We don't want him. And that's why we didn't get Aaron Donald. And we took, Eric Ebron? I'm gonna leave it alone. And not a Lions fan, but says, Luke, you remember that Dallas Cowboy trade for Roy Williams? Can you imagine us doing something like that for Galladay? No, because only the Dallas Cowboys was stupid enough to give us a first, a third, and a fifth for an aging Roy Williams. Only them. A guy that we probably was gonna let get the hell up out the door because we had a Calvin Johnson on the opposite side. So no, I don't see us doing nothing like that. Not to mention, Kenny Galladay is not going to net you anything. If they were going to pull a move like that, they should have got rid of Calvin Johnson, which would have get you more, similar to what the Dallas Cowboys did when they traded away Herschel Walker to net them Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, and Michael Irvin. That's a different set of thinking that you go by. But to trade Kenny Galladay,
so you don't think if he let's say gets 13 and 14 touchdowns, his value will be enough to net something?
No, I'm saying he was saying trade him, and I was saying for what? And he's saying we're similar to, like, I think he was trying to say similar to what they got to, with Roy Williams. Jerry Jones is an idiot. Like, that's why he pulled the trigger on that. A first, a third, and a fifth for Roy Williams. Nobody said Dallas won that trade. Nobody. And then he says, what happened to Sue in Miami? Nothing. He balled in Miami. What happened to Cameron Wake? What happened to Cameron Wake and Olivia Vernier? What happened to them guys who couldn't even get it? He getting double teamed and they not winning their one-on-one battles. But the season before he got there, they was winning it. He didn't do Miami dirty. The other players didn't step up to get plays. And when he did get pressure, the other players were either hurt or not performing. I'm just saying, like I don't mean to rant people, but you can't trade Kenny Galladay and get value when receivers' value is not that high? Why would I trade for Kenny Galladay? Still got to re-sign him, and what am I giving up for him? We value him high, but he ain't. No, it's not. No, ain't no. What team? Who? Go through and tell me the teams who need a receiver.
The only team I can think about is New England, but they would never.
They would never. Go to Minnesota. They need a receiver.
Baltimore.
You think Baltimore finna give you a first, a third, and a fifth for Kenny?
No, I mean you said name a team who need.
No, I'm saying listen. You
ain't say name a team who need. They gonna take Kenny Galladay.
No, listen. We in agreement. I'm just saying when you go through and you name these teams ain't giving up that kind of value for a receiver. That's my point. They're not giving it up.
I bet we could convince Bill O'Brien.
Who?
Yes,
Bill O'Brien, the Texans GM, who got rid of DeAndre Hopkins.
He got rid of D-Hop for a second.
I know. I bet we could finesse the Texans.
We'd be like Kenny G for a second or something. He'd be like, "Oh, okay."
Right, he take a second round pick. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm gonna listen. that whole New England Patriot connection thing. I'm gonna tell you why I think Bill O'Brien might have more success than Matt Patricia, because Bill O'Brien has now total control. He's the GM and the coach, so he makes his decisions and he's calling it to build a team that he wants. The one thing that they like, according to the Texas owner, was he's making the culture a more tougher culture, and he likes that. He likes that they are more aggressive in the way that the players is. You don't hear too many things coming out about players wilding out in Houston like they, you get a few of them, but for the most part,
All right, we gonna move on to the next question. First, let me get some shout outs. We got Not a Lions Fan, but in the building was good. Antoine High in the building with us was good. Buffed Up joins us once again. What's good, man? Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. But all right.
Well, listen, Buffed Up says, why are you streaming on two channels at the same time? Because we want to make sure that we don't miss anybody. We are going to start streaming this directly on the DSA's channel, YouTube channel. So you want to make sure that you subscribe, and you want to make sure that you hit that notification bell when we do it. Until we get that transition completely pushed over, you may see us do it on two channels from time to time. But I'm just saying. Oh, wait. So Not a Lions Fan Buzz says, I would disagree with Luke's philosophy for this reason. Players try to overcook the organization on when it comes to pay raises.
Well, you know me. I got a little bit different philosophy. I believe you got to pay to play. That's just me. So I'm paying Kenny Galladay. I was completely wrong about it, but I thought we should have paid Ziggy. I was 100% wrong.
Oh no, I would. I might pay him.
I'm talking about when we gave him the franchise tag. I was like, nah, they should have did that.
No, I was ready to go.
No, I was wrong. I don't mind being wrong, but like, I just believe you got to pay your best player. That's why we got Trey Flowers. I'm like, he costs a lot. He overpaid, but he's good. So I just believe you got to pay to play sometimes. But okay. Now we're gonna talk about when Kenny Galladay was a rookie. He got injured, and a lot of people continued to doubt him. I looked it up. He had like 477 yards, and I think I don't know how many touchdowns. I think it was 3 touchdowns, but I'll check that to make sure. And now T.J. Hockenson had some similar numbers his rookie year, and he also got hurt. But in their rookie season, they both showed flashes. So my question to you guys is, will T.J. Hockenson have that year 2 jump and take our offense to the next level, finally having a dynamic tight end that can really change things in this league? We're going to start with you, right or wrong.
I absolutely do. I'm 100% behind this notion that T.J. Hockenson can have a breakout year 2. Because if you look at all the great tight ends from, Rob Gronkowski to Tony Gonzalez, all these guys struggled their rookie year and took a huge step forward in their sophomore season. And then you see him in the offseason working with guys like Tony Gonzalez, working with guys like George Kittle. And, obviously you mentioned it. We saw the flashes last year. Like, I just think that he's going to. It just feels like everything is lining up for him to have a huge jump in the second year. And, he's putting in the work. He's putting in the reps with all these other, former or current NFL players. And, I just feel like he's working hard and he is ready to take his game to the next level. So I absolutely do.
Hey, I like that Antoine is you says, how do y'all feel about Kerryon Johnson? I like Kerryon. I just think I don't know. We'll see what happens. I like him though. He just can't stay healthy, and when you can't stay healthy as a running back, teams are not gonna sign you. That's why Bo Scarborough was on the couch because he can run the football, but he couldn't stay healthy, so he has to work on that. But I think he's gonna have his best season though. I definitely do. But all right, Luke. Well, you think that Hawkinson will have a second year jump like Galladay did and help to take our offense to the next level, having that dynamic tight end that can change a lot of things for us and help us on offense and defense because he's foreign.
I think he'll improve upon his first season, but to take us to the next level, I'm gonna say no. I think we are going into the way of run first, and he's going to get his shots, but he's got to take advantage of his shots. I was just curious as to how many passes he dropped. And I went to a number of games where I'm like, yeah, he dropped that. Oh, that was a touchdown. He dropped that. And this is rookie season and stuff. But to say what
was it? 2 drops? Yeah.
Would it take us to the next? No, it was more than that.
It was 2 drops, bro. I already looked at it and they both was touchdowns, but it was 2 drops.
Listen, they can report that, but I'm telling you, I went game by game over and I counted it where he dropped it. It was more than 2.
I'm trusting the NFL on this, man. I don't know.
Okay,
man.
yeah, well, listen, trust the NFL on it. I'm telling you what I saw.
I didn't see him drop a lot of passes. I only saw him drop those touchdowns.
Go to the game that he had against the Eagles. The game he had against.
He had 1 drop in that game.
Okay. All right. I'll do a video just to prove the point later. All right. But the improvement that I think he would make, I think will be there. But to take it to the next level, they got to utilize him. And it's not just him. They got to utilize Jesse James in conjunction with him. And if you just utilize him and you utilizing Kenny Galladay and you look at those two and them your targets, you're becoming a bit of a one-trick pony. I think we're going to be a run-first team, and he's going to do a whole lot of blocking, and he'll get his catches and stuff like that, but they got to utilize him more. He's better for when you're trying to get downfield. And Jesse, it should be more of a red zone threat, but they're not. It's about utilization. I don't know if they're going to make a commitment to utilizing the tight ends more.
I actually do think they're going to do exactly just that because I think we have to validate selecting TJ where we selected him, so he's going to get a lot more targets. But do I think he will have a year 2 jump like Kenny Galladay and take the offense to the next level? I actually do. I think he's going to have anywhere from 800 to 1,000 yards. I think TJ Hawkinson is going to be a problem this year. I really do. I think working with George Kittle and just getting back.
If he's utilized, I think he can be a problem. But I don't see that when you're going to be a run-first team. If you go through and you look at
man, I know you believe that, but we got Stafford. We will never be a run-first team, ever.
Well, if that's the case, then get ready for another trash season because we can't.
I mean, is Kansas City a run-first team?
Yes.
No, they're not.
Yes. They didn't have the highest rush there, but go and look at their runs on first down. They ran the ball. Yes, they did.
No, but run first, I mean, you're running more than you're passing. Like the Ravens, they're a run first team. The Titans, they're a run first team.
That's not just what run first means. Run first doesn't necessarily mean that you're running more than doing it. That means that your first goal and option is to attempt to establish the win by running the ball. And then if that's not working, you sprinkle in your passes and so forth and so on. But when you're a run first team, you're just trying to make team know we're planning to run the ball so that they commit to it. Then you can dot them up down the field. That's what the Seattle Seahawks do. They'll come out and be a run first team, but they're not stopping Russell Wilson from slinging it. They just happen to run the ball first.
That's all. But see, I think of Seattle as a run first team though, because they run the ball more than they pass. Like them games with Chris Carson had 20 carries and the other running back had 20 carries, and I'm just like, it's ridiculous. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I think he's gonna have a breakout season. I'm very, very confident that they're gonna get him involved, and I think he's gonna be better. He had a lot of things to work on. He wasn't perfect, and I think he had a chance to work on those things. And main thing is he's healthy and he looks he looks like he's in shape enough. But we see, only a few times when we had a tight end, it was pretty bad for the other teams, and it opened up a lot of coverages. Much as we hate E-Bust, when E-Bust had a good game, we used to win a lot because he was that other factor. But that's the thing, he never had good games, and that was the problem.
Same thing with Vernon Davis. If you go to the Washington Redskins, okay, the Washington football team, I gotta make these adjustments. It's so weird to say the Washington football team and to say the Las Vegas Raiders and to say the LA Rams. You know what? LA Rams not as hard, but the Las Vegas Raiders, like, what the hell? Like, all right, cool. So I'm just saying, when Vernon Davis balled out, especially on the 49ers, Jesus, it was nothing you can do to stop him when he balled out. And when he had a bad game, it was I said a little pray for you. It was lights out. So to me, if you're utilizing the tight end and you have a cohesive plan to do so, I can see them doing all kind of things. But if you're not utilizing the tight end, who cares? Now, really quick before we get going, I want to put this out there. At 9 p.m. Eastern time, former Detroit Lions safety Glover Quinn will be on his channel, the DB Room, with former Detroit Lions head coach Jim Caldwell. I'm going to put that out there again. Former Lion Glover Quinn on his channel, the DB Room, will be live with head coach Jim Caldwell, former Detroit Lion head coach. Make sure you check it out. Let them know DSA sent you. And show some love, man. Show some support. We want to make sure that we support people who are doing good. Like I said, I wouldn't care if y'all was promoting the My Little Pony channel. If you're a good person and you about that, I'm going to try my best to promote you. So make sure y'all check that out as well. If you leave here and then come on back over, that's cool with us. It's all good. But go ahead, J-Mo.
And I think year 2 with Daryl Bevel is going to open up a lot of things. I think TJ was just a rookie. Now, the coverages did switch. They did switch, and they were like, all right, you're not going to do this. And the way they did their coverages, he can only get some short routes going. But I think that he's going to be so much better that it's going to be a turnaround just like Kenny Golladay. That's why I made that same comparison, because I just remember how angry I was. And I don't have the same level of anger with TJ Hawkinson and his doubters, but I was so angry how people was like disrespecting Kenny Golladay his rookie season. And I'm like, y'all are not seeing what I'm seeing. This dude is a problem. And we saw what happened, and I feel like it's the same way with TJ Hawkinson. And Daryl Bevel is going to make a concerted effort. I've been saying I think they're going to move a little bit away from Marvin Jones and try to make TJ that second receiving threat. I definitely think we'll run the ball more, but them tight ends are going to come into play. So we're going to move on to the next question now. Make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. Now, so we got training camp coming up. We got people opting out. We got people going on the COVID list. We got people coming off of the COVID list. It's just a lot of crazy things going on in the NFL. And my question is, how serious should we take training camp? And how much does it matter this year compared to others? And I say how serious should we take training camp because we got players opting out. And it's just so much confusion on some of these teams that the product on the field might not be where it should be. And I think that might cause a lot of problems later on in the season whenever the season starts, but we'll see where that goes. But all right, Luke G, how serious do you think we should take training camp, and how much does it matter this year compared to other seasons when it wasn't a pandemic?
We should take it very freaking serious. We ain't got no preseason games. Then this is it. This is the dry run. We got to take it very serious. We got to pray to God that we got enough talent to scare the living hell out of our rookies to get them ready. Somebody got to school somebody. It should be a whole lot of lessons learned in training camp. We got to take it very serious. I need the most dysfunctional D lineman to bust our guards in the mouth. I want that guard uncomfortable. I want him thinking about what he need to do to win the next battle, whether it be throw dirt in their eye, hit them in the nuts, or what. But I need some dysfunction. The cornerbacks, we need a receiver or two who gonna give them hell. I want the cornerbacks to pray that when they're done with training camp, that they've seen all that they need to see. We can't take this light. We can't sleep on training camp. When you don't have any preseason games or even a reduced preseason, you cannot take this light. And to me, anybody who takes the training camp light, they pump faking. They plan the hell out of themselves. Because the reality is this is going to be their battle test before they play their first game. And if you don't have the talent on your roster to truly battle test each other, you're going to just have much of the same. So we got to take it very serious. The fans should take it serious. The players got to take it serious. They didn't have a realistic full offseason to kind of ease them into it. Nerves going to be high. You're going to have I forgot what was it. Any Given Sunday where Jamie Foxx played Willie Beeman and he would puke before the game. Remember that? Trying to get the nerves out. Imagine this for the rookies, those second-year players, those people that who know that they don't have an established spot. I need uncomfortability. I need confusion. I need anger. I need frustration. I want players to treat training camp like preseason, and them is not the people on your team. Why? Because exactly. I need you to breed competition. So to me, you got to take it dead serious. You got to take it as serious as a heart attack, as serious as an artery that has been busted open. Take it serious. And if you don't,
we got
a problem.
That's another reason why I brought up this question, because when we were hearing about Stafford and Galladay and the rest of these players on the COVID list, and I'm like, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I got Lions fans telling me, no, they'll be all right. I'm like, they're not going to be in training camp. Whether they're just starting things off now, that matters specifically, in this year. But we'll see. All right, right or wrong, what do you think about this topic? How serious should we take training camp, and how much does it matter this year compared to others?
I mean, I agree with Luke. I think they need to take it more seriously than ever before because they don't have the preseason. They don't have the opportunity to go get game tested against other NFL talent. And, I think that's really going to hurt the rookies. So players in training camp need to be working even harder this year to not only prepare the rookies, but to get themselves ready because, even the veterans, they don't have the opportunity to, ramp up. They don't have that opportunity to have a slow preseason game. They don't have the opportunity to, ramp up to the regular season. As soon as training camp's over, they're going right to week 1 and the games matter. So I think it needs to be more serious than ever. And how much does it matter? It matters more than ever before because they're not getting the preseason games. The rookies, the veterans, they're not getting a chance to work against other NFL players. They're working against themselves. And, as soon as, and the Detroit Lions are going to run a certain type of defense in mini camp and training camp because that's what they're going to run in the regular season. So the offense is going to see the same defense over and over and over. And as soon as they get to week 1, I guarantee the Bears run a lot more zone than the Lions do. So, this training camp it's more important than ever because they have less time to get ready.
Yeah, and listen, the people who sleep on the importance of this are the ones who are going to be complaining, we suck. Oh, man, this guy's soft. Oh, God, I can't believe, look at him. He's already hurt. Like, listen, people, they don't have the extra time to eat more Pringles. They don't have extra time to put down more pizza, extra time to drink more beer. It's getting real. Some people have had a level of discipline, but it's not the same as being in football shape. It just ain't. It's not like when we were kids and we would just grab a football and decide, let's go play ball. It's not that. It's not like that in the pros. Your body moved different. You ate.
Yeah, and wasn't Stafford just let back into the facilities recently?
Right.
Yeah. So this is his first time in training camp, our starting quarterback. And when all of these players got on the COVID list, to me, getting on the list is bad in itself because you cannot even have it, as we've seen. And then it just takes people out of training camp for a few days. And that's why I was saying maybe training camp should be longer. It should be extended. Maybe they should look into some type of joint practice because training camp at the end of the day, besides preparation and, coaching and things like talent, the training camp is where teams are built, where the winners are built every single year. And this year, because of the pandemic, I think it's heightened by about 10 times because we've said it. Sound like a broken record over here, but there is no other football that you're going to be able to train and do outside of this training camp. There's no, going against other guys from other teams and competing. It's about going against each other. And I'm with you, man. I want Kenny Galladay frying Okuda on every slant imaginable. I'm going to be like, all right, Okuda, we're going to have Danny run the slant. We're going to have Marvin run the slant. And then we're going to have Galladay run the slant. Cover them all. And we're going to do this all day until you perfect at covering them slants. TJ, whatever your problems is, if it's blocking, all right, we gonna have you block Trey Flowers now. Taylor Decker, we gonna pray for you. So like that's all I can say because I don't know what he can do. Maybe he can build up some strength. I just honestly I don't know what happened to Taylor Decker. I really don't. I just don't know what happened to him.
I really think his shoulder injury screwed him up.
I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at Chris's comments and he's talking about the fullback, right? And I'm just thinking about what y'all are talking about with the shoulder and stuff. But he's talking about Nick, and I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I remember this was a lot of the same things. Like he's saying, like he don't think Nick can do it for the NFL, and Chris may be right. I'm not saying Chris is wrong, but I remember hearing a lot of those same things about Jerome Felton, who went over to Minnesota and did exactly what we thought he was going to do. so
Michael Burton as well. He went over to the Bears.
Right, like, bro. When they got rid of Michael Burton, I was mad as hell. I did not understand. I'm like, he was fast. He was able to run the ball up the gut, and he blocked. He had a few issues, hiccups there and there, but overall, he was not bad. And then I think his confidence got shot once he got released, which most people got to be built mental tough. I don't think he was there. So,
we got Crimson Shadow in the building. What's good, man? How you doing? He said Decker got injured again and he was never the same. But see, that's my problem. I mean, look, I wish we had the hook cam because I'm sure he can name the O-line, like 10 O-linemen. But how many O-linemen have an injury like that and are just like done? And when I mean done, I don't mean Decker he had a solid rookie year and he looked like he's going to become elite. Maybe I was jumping out the window, but he looked like he was going to get way better. Kind of like, I don't think he had as good as a rookie season as Ragnow. But when we saw Ragnow, we were like, okay, yeah. And when I saw Decker in that season where we had them 9 fourth quarter comebacks or 8, whatever it was, I'm like, okay, you're solid. We should have drafted you. That injury happens and he fall off a cliff. And I know, not everybody feels that Decker fall off a cliff. But my thing is he was supposed to be great. And now he's barely above average. And this training camp, we need him to do a lot because I just feel like whatever Matt Patricia has been trying to establish, this training camp, we should see it all. You have all of your guys. I don't want to say this should be the easiest training camp, but from a X's and O's standpoint, since you have everybody, everybody knows the system. This is the first time you could say where the Lions defense, even with bringing in new people, 75% to 80% of the people already know the system. It might even be higher. Like, that's actually crazy when I think about it, All them people already know the system, even if they're new. Jeff Okuda, all they going to tell him to do, you got that guy. Or apparently that's what it's supposed to be. And then on offense, I think that Darrell Bevell actually has a lot of work to do because it's a lot of moving pieces on offense. Jesse James has to get his targets. He has to earn his money. And Swift, Carry-On, Huntley, I think he has a little bit more work to do, which is why I want Stafford. I need Stafford out there with them. So I'm happy that the guys got in the building. We know they're just doing the pre-workout stuff right now, but I think this training camp is going to be the most important. And whoever has the best training camp probably going to end up in the Super Bowl. So because we're going to see it, and I'm talking about from a health standpoint too, because training camp isn't just X's and O's and getting in shape. I feel like the teams who train right have less injuries. But, maybe I'm speculating on that a little bit. But, all right, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the next question. So, Benny Blades, one of the best Lions, he says, is Benny Blades right about sticking with Matt Patricia's way of doing things? He thinks that the Lions should stick with Matt Patricia's way of doing things, and I'm guessing, give him time to build something. And usually I give it to one of you guys to answer that, but I got to answer this first because no. And this is why. It's only one reason why, and I'll keep saying it. Matt Patricia wasn't brought here. He wasn't brought here to build something. He was brought here And it makes me upset that I have to reiterate this, and people, even legendary Lions, come out and say things like this. He wasn't brought here to build. He was brought here to elevate. If we're going to give him 5 years, we should have traded Stafford as soon as we got Matt Patricia. And I don't know if Matt Patricia stays for the long ride. If Stafford and him stay for 5 years, then cool. But I don't think it's going to happen that way, which is why I don't think Matt Patricia should have this patience. I think this is the year he really going to have to show me something. Like, he has to show me something, even in a weird pandemic year. Everybody's in the same situation. I just feel like if you got Stafford and all of your horses, just show me a lot of something. But I kind of don't like that Benny Blade said that. I don't like that he said that, because I don't think that Patricia should get all his leeway, because he wasn't brought here to get 5 years. He wasn't brought here to build something. He was brought here to literally replace. I'll keep bringing it up. The Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, was he brought there to turn them into a contender, Luke, right or wrong? No. He was brought there to turn them into a Super Bowl team. Am I wrong? So Patricia wasn't brought here to take us to the Super Bowl, but 9-7 ain't good enough, Bob Quinn. Go ahead, right or wrong.
I mean, at this point, Patricia just hasn't shown me enough that he can do it. We brought him here to, as you said, elevate the team, and the team has regressed. We've gone the opposite direction. Like, he just hasn't shown me enough to warrant and more years, right? After this year, if it doesn't get better, then I don't know if it's ever going to get better, because, you know, he's brought in all of his guys. I think, you know, I was doing research for one of my videos, and there's only one player on the defense left that was here under Caldwell's rule, and that's Jared Davis. Like, everybody else, every other starter is brand new. Tracy Walker's the most experienced line in the secondary. He's going into his 3rd year. Patricia has all of his guys, so if he can't win now, he's never going to win.
All right, look, man. This is your question. Go ahead, man.
Listen, okay. Y'all don't understand how much respect I have for Benny Blaze. Like, y'all don't get, like, I hated playing safety, but if I was going to be like a safety, it would have been like him. I just love the way he handled his business. And I think his overall view was to say that they was used to those coaches speaking to them all, yeah, hey, you're all right, you're cool, versus, hey, go and do this. And he's like, you got to stick with that. And I'm just thinking to myself, if all that is needed is you want a head coach to be more aggressive, then I can get that from any damn body. But if you're saying I got to stick with him because he's bringing something here that has not been done before, I can't stick with that. I can't stick with that when I'm seeing the first indicator to me that I look at with any head coach is if he comes in and he's an offensive minded guy, I cannot see the worst offense in the league ranking. I should never see it. If he's a defensive guy, I should never see the worst ranking in defense ever. I just should never see that. So to me, it's about being able to see a team get a coach who can do certain things. I'm not asking him to be all yelling and all rah. Bill Belichick do things his way. If you ever seen any type of what is it called, all or nothing with Bruce Arians, he cussed you the F out, but he respectful about it. I just don't understand this idea of having somebody who your defense is not good, and if the idea,
say what you want about Caldwell, our offense was never bottom of the league.
Like we had, like look who the offensive coordinator was. We wasn't bottom of the league in offense at all. They fired Dog, and our offense is even better. Jim Schwartz. Look at our defenses with Jim Schwartz. Like that's one of the reasons why I hated Rob Marinelli. I'm like, what is wrong with our defense? Like, golly. No turnovers, it was just frustrating. And to me,
yeah, and I feel like Schwartz was a fiery guy. So And I know a lot of people aren't left from his organization, but when Benny Blaze is talking about that, I just don't know if that's right. You just got to coach right.
No, I think he was just saying that you got to have somebody who's a little bit tougher on the players versus somebody who's going to be, oh, it's all good, it's okay. I get that part of it. So you got to have somebody who's doing that. But I think people don't realize, like, you just can't do it, man. You just can't do it. To me, if you give him 5 years and it's much of the same, like for some people, he can play this year. The defense can go from 31 or 32, whatever. I know it was trash, bottom percentile. It can go from that to like 27. People go, see, we improve. No. No, absolutely not. Like, I don't get it. We cannot keep doing this to ourselves.
Hold on. I want to respond to this comment. Not a Lions fan, but it says 9-7 is not good enough, but neither is 11-5 when you cannot beat anybody. They picked up the flag. Rest my case. And that's my only response to that. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. They picked up the flag for the first time in NFL history. And if you go and look, if you go rewatch it, the announcer literally says, I've been announcing for 30 years and I've never seen this before in my life. But we're not going to get into all of that. And I'll take 11-5 over 9-7 any day.
Yeah, to me, I understand what he's saying. He's basically just saying that the overall record is not always an indicator of what that team really was. But
no, that's true. But Patricia,
to me, that doesn't hold water, because even if you want to argue that 11-5 and never beat anyone, who did you beat on a 3-12-1 team? Who did you beat on a 6-10 team? You talk about not beating nobody. You want to tell me, well, we beat New England. We went 6-10. We almost beat Kansas City. Almost, only counts in horseshoes. It's hard to argue 11-5 compared to a guy with 9 total wins in 2 seasons.
And so I was talking to these guys about this off air, and what I'm not even about the wins. It's about the fact that since he got here, we suck in the division. And I'm just gonna be honest with you. And we got swept in the division. I can't remember the last time we got swept in the division. I'm gonna be honest with you. When was the last time? Like, has Stafford ever been swept in the division starting? I mean, he didn't start the full 16 games, but okay, so that's never happened. That hasn't happened in a long time. And say whatever you want about Caldwell and not beating good teams, but he beat the best teams in the division often. And when Minnesota was good, we whooped on them. So, I mean, we even beat the Packers for the first time at Lambeau Field. I'm just saying, Patricia, I need something from you. I'm going to need a good defense. I'm going to need you to be competitive in the division. I'm going to need something. You know what I'm saying? And we haven't gotten much. Because if we've been a little bit more competitive in the division and just won a little bit more games, I'll be more confident. I know I said my problem was, how do you lose every game? With that schedule, it's just no way. But that's not something we're going to harp on. We talking about the fact that should we give Matt Patricia time. Look, I would be okay with giving him time if that's what he was brought here for. But he wasn't brought here for that.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't even listen. I know we all going to harp on the fact that he said 97 ain't good enough. But damn that. When he said that, he was saying that, forget the record. He was saying that in the context that we should be better. Right. And at the end of the day, we not.
Basically saying, we an average team. We need to elevate. I'm going to go get my guy to elevate us.
Listen, hold on. Listen, top dog out here. You spot on, bro. Like, listen, I said it. When he moved on from Jim Caldwell, I said the most important defining moment of Bob Quinn's career is going to be who he hires as head coach. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen what that looks like, and I'm not for it. And it's a damn shame. It's an absolute shame. And at the end of the day, shame on them.
Well, I think it's more shame on the Lions fans that want to give Patricia all of these years. And, I just don't understand that. And Bob Quinn needs to take a lot of blame for this. I'm serious. I don't think we're. I like some of his draft picks, and I think his drafting is better than our last two GMs. But I don't think we're hard enough on Bob Quinn. And Top Dog is right. He says this is a problem with the GM. If you ask me, what Quinn do except get us cap space we don't use? That's a bar. His picks are mad. Swift is the only guy where I was like, yes, we got the best available pick. I didn't like that pick, but I agree with you. That's probably the only time where we got the best available player, and probably TJ Hawkinson, I think, because Ed Oliver, we see how that ended. But no, I'm with you on that. But let's talk about this real quick before we move on to the next question. What does Quinn do besides get us extra cap space we don't use? That's literally the question. Let's start with you, right or wrong.
I actually think he drafts fairly well in the mid to late rounds. Like, if you look at his drafts, like, he got Graham Glasgow in the third, he got Kenny Galladay in the third, he got, Tracy Walker in the third, he got Amani Oruwariye in the fifth. Like, I think that he drafts fairly well in the mid to late rounds. Now, with that being said, he also blows most of our first round picks. But I think he gets his cap space, and I think he drafts fairly well after the first two rounds. But other than that,
so your response to what has he done is he's drafted good in the late rounds.
I mean, you asked the question.
No, I'm clarifying.
Yeah, I mean, I think he does draft fairly well after round two, but he definitely has a lot of flaws.
Let me ask you this before I answer the question: is his worst draft pick Tease Tabor?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why I needed to ask you that. I just had to say his name.
Or the long snapper.
Hold on. Hell no. No, I'm not. No. Tease Tabor is not his worst draft pick. Hell no. Did y'all forget the long snapper? Did y'all forget that?
But
I said the long snapper. I did mention that.
That's the thing, though. How much do 6th round picks matter, though?
Bro, hold on. Wait. Okay. I can go through and find some terrible draft picks from him. That's teased. No, I said it before when they brought Tease in, they want making him a safety. It's a waste of energy. But the worst, no. Listen, here's what Bob Quinn does good besides the salary cap. He's a damn good drafter, like he said in the mid rounds. But the most he good at trading. They got more than I thought they could have got for Darius Slay. I'm surprised. You got 2 draft picks for Darius Slay. You turned those into one of my. I'm not sure what the hell that was. We're gonna pray that safety live up to the hype. But you got 2 draft picks. You traded a 5th round pick, and you picked up Snatch. And so I'm just saying, like, realistically, there was things there. But
I would say that I do agree with Ryder. He drafts great in the later rounds. But I think one thing that Bob Quinn did that we don't really talk about, he took away the stigma that those old GMs had and that dark cloud. We haven't won a playoff game under him, and he's made some mistakes, but I don't think Jared Davis was a bad pick. If we go back to back then, he was the right player to take. And if you weren't taking him, you weren't taking no TJ Watt, you were taking Reuben Foster. So I'm not gonna be too hard on him about that pick. Taylor Decker, Ashawn Robinson, but I like the TJ Hawkinson pick. I wanted a different player, but I think Jeff Okudah is going to be a good player. But I do feel like it seems that Bob Quinn's impact hasn't been felt on this team. When you look at the surrounding pieces and the moving parts, it feels like that he hasn't done anything. And that's why I think that a lot of the people are lashing out because of it. Because we still losing. We just went 3-12. Okay, so guys, make sure you drop your questions in the chat, and we're gonna do one more question. It's let's see, how long should you wait for a head coach to finally win? So how much time should the average head coach get to build something, even though that's not the situation Patricia is in? But we're gonna start with you, right, Ro.
I think 3 years is the right amount. I mean, we saw Kyle Shanahan do in San Francisco. He got there. They were a very bad team. 3 years later, they're in the Super Bowl. And then if you look at the Lions roster, if you look at the roster under the last year of Jim Caldwell and you compare that to the roster right now, there's one player left on the defense, and that's Jared Davis, because they like him. The whole defense is different. Most of the offense is different. Patricia's brought in his guys. In 3 years, you have enough time to bring in the guys you want to build the scheme you want. And if you can't win with all of your guys, then you're not ever going to win. I said that earlier. Like, Patricia is out of excuses at this point. He has all of his Patriots. He has all the guys that he likes, has all the guys that work in his system. So if he can't win this year, then he's never going to win.
All right, Luke, what do you think about this? How much time should a coach?
2 seasons. 2 seasons. First season, I give you a pass. It's a learning. You should get everything implied. 2 seasons. I've seen managers come into buildings and turn around. I remember when I was younger, I worked at a Popeye's Chicken.
You saying 2 seasons regardless of situation?
Listen, I'm saying in 2 seasons, I need to see that you a head coach. Like, I need to see something that you a head coach to start winning. Like in the case of Jim Schwartz, when Jim Schwartz came in, Jim Schwartz joined the team, that the first 0-16 team, people. That's what he took over, right? But Jim Schwartz, not only did that, he came into it as a rookie head coach, a 0-16 team, rookie quarterback. But guess what you saw? You saw them moving people out, moving people in, and improvements to what side of the ball? His side of the ball, the defense. I need to see something. 2 seasons is enough for me to see it. 2 seasons, that is what, 30, what, the 32 games? Mm-hmm. No, 32 games. I know 2 seasons sound like a small number. 32 games. 32 games is what I need to see. If I don't see it in that, then I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how to pray for you. I don't know how to do nothing for you, because at that point, you're just making excuses. That's it.
All right. I'm actually gonna agree with right or wrong here. I think that you need about 3 years, because I think you can have success with somebody else's roster. Sean McVay did it, but it takes 2 years to funnel out all of your people. And everybody want to say Patricia didn't have all those guys. He didn't have all those guys. He didn't have all those guys. All of this. Well, my thing was, it's not that he didn't have his guys. It's the effort that he put in on the defensive side of the ball with the talent that he had. But regardless of that, I think that a coach should get about 3 years. That first year is a rookie year. That second year, I need to see some improvement. And that third year, I need to see some improvement, or you need to be out of here. And I know in our situation, we didn't see improvement that second year, but I do believe we win more than 6 games if Stafford is healthy. Put it like that. So that's how I feel about that. All right, guys, make sure you drop your questions in the chat. I saw some questions earlier. I'm gonna scroll up. If you have any questions for us about the Lions or anything NFL related, make sure you drop it in the chat, please. All right.
What does that have to do with effort?
What does what have to do with effort?
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means. What does that have to do with effort?
Is he trying to say that our players weren't playing with effort?
I don't know. Maybe that's another concept I missed. Do you guys think players who have played in Detroit actually – I got to go back up to that. I kind of missed it. Do you guys think players who play in Detroit actually like the fans? All right. Then.
No.
Listen.
Only the players that the fans like. Because Golden Tate, like Matthew Stafford, no. But Golden Tate, yeah, he love everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, we treated Golden Tate like he was golden, literally.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we treated that man.
So he likes some fans, but overall fan experience, nah. DeAndre Levy, Nate Burton. It's funny though. You know what I just caught on to? The receivers in this damn city get so much love. Calvin Johnson, love him to death. Nate Burleson, love him to death. Golden Tate, love him to death. Herman Moore, Johnny Morton, love him to death. Hell, Brandon Powell, we damn near lost our connection.
And when Marvin Jones leave, I'm like, that was my boy.
Dude, how did we not notice that? It's amazing.
That's crazy
that the fan base latched on to receivers. Like, what?
I mean, I want to say maybe because they're the best players on the team, but we did have Barry and some great defensive players. But I mean, the skill position players they're the shiny new toys. But it is unusual how much we love our receivers, and I think a lot of Lions fans who like Slay, at least they still like Slay. I see him on his chat all the time. You don't see too much dislike from Glover Quinn, but I've always said the players who had a good career here, as long as it didn't end badly like Slay, they're gonna love. But it is interesting that they love all of the receivers that were good, man. I mean, I won't say Nate Burleson was good or bad, but I just ride with Nate because he's the only one who hold it down for us.
I'm just saying the receiver level, like, look, Crimson Shadow says you bring up Roy Williams and I will go post him. Not all wide, man. I love
said the good wide receivers.
They know. I swear to God, I know people who love, man. They love Roy Williams. I'm serious. I know people who love them some Roy Williams. It's crazy to me.
Man, people still talk about Titus Young.
Now, Phantom F said, I meant Luke. I was just wondering if that he meant by that is all just to clarify. No. I'm not saying that effort is all I meant by that. What I'm saying is that in 32 games, I should be able to see more than just. I should be able to see signs that point in the right direction. Like, for example, when Jimmy Johnson took over the Dallas Cowboys and he got rid of Herschel Walker, he was told, if you don't win, you're fired. But guess what Jerry Jones noticed about this team? He noticed that the offensive line play had improved. He noticed that the defense had improved, and that the offense was more faster and more reactive to what was going on. So, yeah, they didn't have these great seasons, but he saw these little things that was like, that's an improvement. And then that third year, they was rewarded with the Super Bowl. So, those are the things that I'm looking at and saying that when it comes to a head coach, that has to happen. Not a Lions fan.
Chris Catchball says, I give a coach, year 3, looking at 4, if I don't see progression from the coach and the rookies filling into the system. Developing along with free agents they brought in, I'm disappointed. And okay, so we got not a Lion fan, but says, so is Matthew Stafford without all the excuses, he has all the pieces. The defense has to show up, and the offensive line has to protect them. If the defense is, I'll say this, if the defense is 14th and the offensive line is top 10, and we can run, and the running game is top 15, I'll even go that far. He don't got no excuses. But that's literally never happened before in one season. But if it happened, look, so we're top 15 in defense, O-line, and the running game, because it's literally never happened in Matthew Stafford's career all at the same time. He has no excuses. It's isn't it funny how low the bar is set? But what do you guys think about this?
I mean, I don't know if the bar is set low, but I think what he's saying is he's giving him 3 years. In other words, saying that he wants to see a little bit more, and I can't knock that. I want to hit this Jay Stone question real quick because it's an easy answer to it, where he asks, why isn't Megatron playing on another team? Megatron was still under contract when he retired, and the Lions refused to trade his rights to another team unless that other team was willing to accept that cap hit. Well, those teams were saying hell no to the no, and therefore they was like, bump it. I'm not. Listen, if he want to retire, cool. It's off my books. I ain't got to pay that. But if he want to play, and then they're going to still charge me that cap hit, no, I'm not trading him. So that's why he's not playing on another team. If they would have traded him, he would still be playing. But they didn't trade him, and so he figured if I can't get traded and they hold my contract, I think he had 3 years left on there, something like that. So, to me, that's why he's not playing on another team. The Lions refused to trade his rights and take the cap hit that comes with it to get that done. Wait, what did Shay say? He said, I think when Quinn said his famous quote, he said it prematurely before Patricia came in and personally saw the pieces he had to work with. Basically, I believe Patricia was bamboozled. Nope. No, they're friends. Listen. As soon as we got rid of Jim Caldwell, all the rumors were the Lions are going to go with Matt Patricia. So people talk, and they talk a lot in the NFL, and people knew that we were going to take him. He wasn't bamboozled. He knew what he was coming into.
And why do we not want to hold Bob Quinn accountable to his quote? Like, the man said it and he meant it. It wasn't like he just said that. No, he said it and he meant it, and now we're gonna hold your feet to the fire. Like, you're gonna have to deal with that. And I think he really believed that Patricia was gonna come in there and work magic. And Bob Quinn, let me tell you one thing if you're listening. Everything would have worked perfectly. It would have worked magically. We would have had a nice playoff run. It's just one thing you had to do. Not listen to Matthew Stafford and keep Jim. I'm not gonna say the rest of his name. Keep KFC. If they didn't keep KFC, I believe we would have been a much better team. But that's not what happened. So it is what it is. Ryder, you got any thoughts on that, man?
I think you covered it pretty well. I think you guys covered it great.
Now,
Jay, we'll give you this next question.
Yeah, we get this. Jay Stone says, so do you think they would do the same for Stafford? Like, refuse to trade him like how they did?
Like, hell yeah.
They have to.
They're not trading Stafford.
Yeah,
They're not.
And that cap hit what, 30-something million, 24 million? What is it? Ain't no way.
No, they gonna be like over my dead body. And I know y'all might not agree with this, but I was kind of bitter about Calvin retiring, so I didn't want them to trade him. I was like, no, you either gonna play for us or you ain't gonna play. That's how I felt. It is what it is. We definitely should have got some value for him, but that's how I felt. And like, I just don't like that. You gonna retire so you can basically get off this team and go to another team. That's not how this works, man. We paid you all that money. You know you need to earn it. But Top Dog has a question. He says, I'm gonna throw this to you, Ryder. He says, y'all thinks Quinn's hire should be given yet another year by Quinn if we make the wild card. Also, should Quinn's hire or Quinn get the credit blame for this season? Why are you calling Matt Patricia's Quinn's hire? You're making the question confusing.
Yeah.
Unless he's so. But yeah, that's the question, Ryder. You want me to read it again?
Yeah. So you just said, like, should we give him another chance if he makes the wild card? Patricia.
Do y'all think Quinn's hire should be given?
Yeah, he's basically saying should Matt Patricia be given another year?
Oh,
if
so
he makes the wild card.
No, he's saying should he be given another year by Bob Quinn? So basically, if he makes a wild card and Sheila says Bob Quinn is up to you, should we keep Patricia or not? That's what he's asking.
Oh, well, if it's up to Bob Quinn, they're keeping Patricia anyway because they're best buds. I mean, that's just how it is. Bob Quinn wants Patricia here, and I'm pretty sure if they go 0-16 and Sheila says it's up to you, he's gonna be like, yeah, keep him around. He's staying.
I don't know about that. 0-16.
But my point was that they're best friends, and he's definitely biased towards them. But I mean, if Patricia makes the wild card this year, to me, I think that's enough improvement from year 2 to year 3 to warrant another year, in my opinion.
Ryder.
What?
I don't even like what you just said, but I'm gonna say this. Only if he not the 7th seed. If he the 7th seed, miss me with that.
Well, yeah.
Like you bet if you a wild card, as much as I don't like it, you better be the 6th seed. Because if you the 7th seed, miss me with that 1,000 times over.
Right. That would mean that if the rules had not changed, you still miss the playoffs.
Yeah. So he has to be the 6th seed. But no, it was a follow-up question for you. And the follow-up question says basically who should get the blame or the credit for this season, Matt Patricia or Bob Quinn?
Both. Listen, he hired him, and the other one didn't perform. Bye. It is what it is.
Chris Cadwell says the wild card won't cut it for me. I need to see how we go versus the division.
Man, listen,
we all want to win the division.
That's why I ain't even addressed it. Wild card don't count. I don't want to hear about no damn wild card. Win the division. Then we can talk. Not a Lions fan says, at Luke, what was the first thing Jimmy Johnson did with that mandate? Huh? What do you mean the first thing he did with that man? You talking about after he traded Herschel Walker? After he traded Herschel Walker, you talking about that? Because that's what you're asking me. The first thing he did with that was he began to rebuild the entire roster. But he was brought there to do just that, which was rebuild an entire roster. When Jimmy Johnson came in, he went through, and you got to keep in mind, Jimmy Johnson was already ahead of the scale because he had already recruited most of those players that came to the Dallas Cowboys because he was in college coaching. And what he did was he had already knew that he needed capital to get this team better. He said this team didn't have no talent and he needed more talent. And he said he wanted to figure out who was the best player that he can get rid of to get that capital. For him, it was Herschel Walker. Now, if Matt Patricia came in here and did that same thing and decided, you know what, I need to trade Stafford to get the most capital possible. Or had he came in right at the gate and said, I need to trade Darius Slay to get the most capital possible, I wouldn't have killed him on that. I wouldn't have. I'd have said, okay, I see what he's trying to do. This definitely is a rebuild.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. As much as I like Stafford, I wouldn't have killed him either because that's what you're trying to rebuild.
Right.
I don't like it, but
and
that's
what
what you're trying to do. That's a little bit different. But see, he wasn't brought here for that.
No. Think about this. If they traded Stafford, they could have got
imagine we get like 2 firsts and like a second. I'll be like, okay.
They could have got a nice chunk of change. Just like if they would have traded Calvin Johnson, they could have got a nice chunk of change. And then what you got to do is take that change that you get and you still got to turn around and hit on those picks. Jimmy Johnson hit on his picks. Like Top Dog said, Jimmy Johnson was GM. Patricia isn't. He doesn't have that power.
But do you think that would matter?
No, because I don't think. Listen, he can barely head coach. Why are you gonna give him more work?
That's what I'm saying. I was say I'd rather Bob Quinn, even though I don't know if he's picking every pick. I'll rather him pick the picks only because Bob Quinn gets a gem every draft. So we gonna see who that gem is. This draft could be Jonah Jackson, could be Jason Huntley. You know, like we don't know, but he always gets one. And I knew Omg Its was gonna be that gem last year, but so I like Bob Quinn's late round drafting. Right or wrong, I already alluded to it. But all right, guys, drop your questions. We're gonna get to a few more of them before we wrap up. And I'm gonna read this comment. Chris Catchball says, "If we're pretty dominant in the division for a change, but still get a wild card for some ref crap or something like Stafford injured, I'll give them a pass this year. But next year, I'm bringing out the magnifying glass." Well, I remember I was discussing that with Luke, and I was like, "It depends what type of team we are. Like, if 90% of the defense get hurt." And we somehow still make a wild card or something like that, or we lose our horses and make a wild card, then cool. But if we looking like the 2017 Lions where we out here losing to the Cincinnati Bengals and out here 12 men on the field against the Ravens, it's just losing games we're not supposed to lose. Losing to the Steelers because Jim Caldwell didn't want to kick a field goal. I'll never forget him. But if it's like that, then it's understandable. But to me, I think it depends on what type of 9-7 team it is. If they are 9-7, I know Luke don't agree with that, but it depends on what type of team they are. Because if they go out and beat if they beat all of the great teams, like every great team, like all the juggernaut, they just whoop on them, and we just happen to lose some other games for whatever reason, I'm gonna be like, hold up now.
Again, if they 9-7 to win a division, I'm good. Bro,
it's not the NFC East, dog.
Bro, listen, I don't want. I'm over this. I'm over this low ball.
I know, man. I know.
I'm done with that. Like Top Dog said, he said Quinn has signed every contract, drafted every player. These are his decisions, his job. If he disagrees with Patricia, it's him to make it right. That's why this is the guy he brought in. He brought this guy in. When you think about this, if anybody ever been married, you go and buy a wedding cake, the person you pick that you believe can execute that cake within the budget you have, that's what you're going with. And if they end up giving you something that you can get out of an easy bake oven, shame on you for being cheap and picking that person. That's your problem. You can't go and ask me to be your photographer and get mad when I took shitty pictures. I ain't a photographer. So I'm just saying it has to be done that way. And Steve-O is right. Johnson took advantage of a loophole in the trade that gave him picks if players got released. The Cowboys got picks. He changed the game. But again, he hit on them. He hit on a lot of those picks,
but I think Luke isn't talking about the fact that, yes, he changed the game and, they became a dynasty. And maybe that doesn't work for every team. But you have to have a vision to build something. And I don't really know what Patricia's vision was. I think Patricia was like, all right, I got Stafford. I'm going to come in, and we're going to be good. And that's not how it worked. Because I think Patricia believed his own hype. He was like, yeah, I'm going to just drop in here on this nice team and we going to be good. And then he's like, oh, I got a coach. Oh. And then that's kind of what happened in Stafford. Got injured towards the end of the season. We got One Pride Nation in the building. What's good? If you guys haven't subscribed to his channel, make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. We try to get him to 100 subscribers, man. And make sure you guys like the video if you haven't already. And if you have any more questions, make sure you drop them. We will wrap up the show in a sec. Get to a couple more questions. Let's see.
Well, listen. Let me hit on this really quick because, and Ryder. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let Ryder hit on this one. Ryder, this is a question I think that we had to ask. God, let me try to get this right. This will come from Chris. And he asks, can a nice coach win in this league? Like, in other words, like, can you win in this league with a nice coach? Or
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Andy Reid. We don't know if these coaches are nice or not, but I think Andy Reid's a nice guy. Andy Reid.
Well, I feel like Pete Carroll's a nice guy.
Pete Carroll is too.
Yeah.
They've both won Super Bowls. You can absolutely win.
Don't mean a damn thing. You just got to be good at your job, man. At the end of the day, you just got to be good at your job, no matter what kind of coach you are.
All right.
You just got to be good at your job.
Well, like I said, I'm with it.
Okay, we got a question from Crimson's Shadow. He says, so if we fire Quinn, this is a funny question. So if we fire Quinn and Matty P, who's the next team coaching tree we gonna steal? He says, I'm hoping Jay Gruden's tree. No, I'm hoping it's Andy Reid's tree. I need Eric Bieniemy. What you talking about? Andy Reid has an actually pretty good coaching tree throughout the league. It's actually pretty extensive. And some of his coaches from his tree won Super Bowls before he did, but he finally got his. All right, we're gonna do one more question.
Well, I gotta bounce. So I'm gonna give my final thought and bounce because I gotta go. I am still on the clock at work. I'm trying to push it, but they sending me some stupid emails that I gotta handle. So I'll give my final thought and be out. I'm sorry to cut it short, ladies and gentlemen, but hey, I gotta knock this out.
Hey, we all got a day job, y'all. We do this for fun for the fans. Don't forget about that.
Listen, like I will tell anybody that I only do this because it's fun to talk to other fans who love this team. I don't do this I'm not doing this to make no money. I'm not trying to control or take over YouTube or none of that, man. It could be 4 of y'all in here. I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm good. I make my money doing something different. And that's what it is, man. I do this for fun. So let me give y'all my final thoughts, people. First of all, let me give a shout out for Easy for coming on, man. I appreciate you for coming on. And also let me give some love to Ryder and J-Mo, man, because we be consistent with this, and I appreciate that. Today's final thought came to me unexpectedly from a friend, actually, and what he told me he said, would you trust just anyone with your children? And I said, no. And he said, then you should never trust anyone with your money. And then I said, huh. And to me, the quote stands from this standpoint. Right now, we are in a position where we have some openings, a little bit of vulnerability that leaves us open to some things. Keep in mind that you have to use this thing called common sense to go along with your trust. Ask yourself the question of what needs to be done before it's done. If you are sitting here trying to decide if you're going to do something that you never done before, what is the risk? And weigh that risk versus the reward. Because in this life, you get only one shot sometimes if that mistake is huge. And I want you to understand that at those moments, you have to make sure that no matter what you do, you always consult with 3 people, me, myself, and I. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the Speak Easy podcast, aka Easy. I can't do the poppy, but make sure you subscribe. And as always, don't be no chump. Please do your research. I got to get back to work, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all have a good one.
All right, guys, make sure you continue to drop any questions you have, and I'm gonna get easy. I'm gonna get your thoughts on some of the things we went over. Glad to have you back. We know how technical difficulties be. We all been through it, man. But oh yeah, it was one question. Do you think T.J. Hawkinson will have the same type of second year jump that Kenny Golladay did? Because they both got injured that first year. They both had similar numbers, and Lions fans doubted both of them in the rookie season.
I like T.J. Hawkinson a lot. I think we're going to see a big jump from him. I'm hoping that a lot of the COVID stuff doesn't delay that, but I mean, I don't think it will because I've seen his determination in the offseason. You know, you hear about a lot of the greats. They talk about always the first one in, the last one to leave, and you see a lot of those same traits out of TJ. And so, I mean, I'm definitely expecting to see a jump from him, and grateful we have him as a Lion.
All right, let's see. Let's get some more. Oh yeah, so Top Dog. We also heard the story about Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia having beef, but when we talked to who was it that we had on from ESPN, Pete Rosenberg. When we talked to him, and we talked to some of the other reporters, they said they don't think that story is true. Guys like Jeremy Reisman, when we were talking to those guys, they were saying that it wasn't that much truth to it. So we really don't know what actually happened and who was actually, upset about it. But I think that's a pretty alarming if Okuda and Patricia didn't agree on the pick. But, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Shad says Andy Reid couldn't coach in Detroit because fans don't like big coaches. I think fans like coaches that win. Big coaches. I think it is about winning, man. They try to take shots at Andy Reid weight and Matt Patricia's weight. It's all good, man. Andy Reid, I like Andy Reid. He took the hard way, man. It's been a long time coming, and he finally got what he needed. It's our time.
Yo, J-Mo,
for the first time in 50 years. It's our time. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. What's up?
Yeah, I can't hear nobody.
Oh, he can't hear nobody. But all right, guys. I think I'm gonna do one more question, and then we're gonna wrap up the show. Hey, Phantom Alpha, where were you, man, when we were talking about this right after the draft? Ryder, you remember this?
What? I wasn't here till.
The story. No, I'm talking about the story about how they didn't agree on that.
Oh, page. Yeah, yep.
Now, what do you think about that? Do you think there was some truth to it?
I mean, I wasn't there. I have no idea, but I know that Patricia and Belichick disciples like to build in the secondary, and I know that Bob Quinn, when he came here, wanted to build up the trenches. So it wouldn't shock me if they disagreed. But at the end of the day, they made the pick that they made. So
yeah, I also I'm not sure they agreed on the T.J. Hawkinson pick, but that's something we'll never know. Because Matt Patricia literally said, he was like, I would have liked a defensive player. He literally said that after the draft, making a little joke. But I was like, you gonna say that right after we drafted an offensive player? And then finally, maybe he got what he wants. But it don't matter. I'm kind of with you, right? It doesn't matter if they agreed or disagreed or not. They picked who they picked. But all right, let's see. Last question that I'm gonna read. Let's see. Chris Cashball says that I noticed. Did you all notice last year free agency was targeted to the matchup of the Packers, and this year free agency was focused on Minnesota? Well, I don't know if last year free agency was targeted towards the Packers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know about that, but this year free agency targeted towards Minnesota. I don't know about that either. Honestly, I think I don't know which team we've been focusing on, but a lot of things that we've done made me feel like we focus on Chicago a little bit with some of the things that we're trying to do. But I don't know if it's been that specific. You got any thoughts on that, Ryder?
Personally, I just think Patricia wants to bring in Patriots. I just think that he likes the guys that played with him in New England. I think he likes guys that fit his system. So I don't even know if they're necessarily focusing on a team specifically when they make these hires. I just think Patricia likes his Patriots.
I'm with you on that. But all right, guys. Thank you for everybody showing up. This is the DSA Roundtable. We do this for you guys every week, 2 times a week. We stay consistent for all of my basketball people. We do above the rim. If you haven't subscribed to the DSA channel, make sure you subscribe to the DSA channel because we will be doing all of the live streams on multiple channels so we get everybody over there easy, man. Thank you for stopping by, man. I know it's been a ride. Seems like you're going through it, man. You got any final thoughts, bro? You got any final thoughts, man?
Man, I just like to apologize. I was on my way to practice when I got there. I had to stay off, but shit, man. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to come on. Next week Tuesday, I'm about to be home during the whole session, so won't be technical difficulties. But y'all go ahead, and make sure if my last thoughts, my bad, I'm gonna plug myself a little bit. But I'm doing a 2K. I'm speaking above the rim, talking basketball. I'm doing a contest for 2K21 Mamba Edition. Just stay tuned to the Instagram. Giving out the free 2K Mamba Edition. We're doing a contest pretty soon here, so just keep an eye out. And I appreciate you guys having me on. And I hope to talk some basketball with you too one day.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like I don't play 2K at all, but Kobe Bryant is literally my favorite basketball player ever. Always has been. It was documented on my channel before he passed away. Everybody knows this, and I'm like, I'm gonna just buy that edition just because he own it. I'm not even gonna play it. I'm just gonna buy it just because Kobe is on it. And I'm like, hey, that's it. Like I'm gonna just be like, yeah, I got it, you know. But that's a nice little thing that you're doing for your subscribers. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. Right or wrong, man. Final thoughts for the day. And if you got any more questions, make sure you drop them down before we get off air. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for everybody for coming out. Thank you for Speakeasy for coming on, no matter how short the time was with the technical difficulties. Still appreciate coming out, hanging out with us. And, just I had some fun today talking some Lions football with people.
Yeah, man. Sometimes time flies fast when you're talking about the Lions, having debates, and just trying to figure out what we can do or what needs to be done in order to turn our team into a winner. We have a lot of disagreements about that, but hopefully it just shows up in the win column and we get better because this is a weird season. There's a lot of crazy things going on in the world with the pandemic, and even other stuff outside of the pandemic with politics and stuff. But I just want every Lions fan to stay up, stay confident, and just hope one thing for the Lions, that we stay healthy. Because I've said it a million times, and it hasn't been true yet because we always get injured. If we healthy, we're a problem, and the Lions will win the division. I felt the same way last year. We were not healthy. We literally started the season off injured and then lost our best player. But if we're healthy, this is a team that can win the division. Shout out to everybody in the chat, and we are out.